It also makes us think about the values that we really value and then think, is this right? To question the very fundamental aspects of today's world and then say, how can we make this better? Hi everyone, it's Jin, and today I have so much to talk about. First, the 2025 Newbery Honor Awards have been announced. It's really interesting. We've seen so many amazing books come out in 2024, so I'm like really excited to see who won. And here's a fun fact. Remember Erin Entrada Kelly, the author of Hello Universe, which was a book talk that I actually covered, which was a book that I covered in a book talk. Well, she won the Newbery Medal again for the second time. And she also won the Newbery Honor Award as well. So that's like 3 Newbery Awards, and she was in her book, The First State of Being, I think, also was also a finalist for the 2024 National Book Award. So that's very, very impressive. So Erin Entrada Kelly is an amazing writer, so I'm really, expecting a lot from that book. It seems to be a very popular book. The reviews are really good, and it has won so many awards. So I am looking forward to it. Now, today, as you can see, I'm talking about The Giver. So you might wonder why. After all, I did cover The Giver a while ago, right? But why cover it again? Well, I'm not going to cover like chapter by chapter. This time I want to do like a broad theme one, and this is something I want to kind of do. So let's dive right in. So we have a lot of themes, and you might kind of think that they're obvious, but you know, they might be obvious themes, but they're still really important, and some of them are not as obvious. So first, there's that importance of memory, right? There's that receiver of memory, and that's the only person who has all the memory, and nobody else has memory. Why do you think that this is true? Why would the elders, the committee of elders, even want this to happen? Well, I feel that it's because of memory's importance, and this is the first theme. Now, memory helps us learn. Like, it helps us learn from our past mistakes, learn from the past, and then try to get better in the future. It is maybe a very tumultuous and horrible, and maybe maybe sometimes horrible, but also beautiful slate on which to work on. You might say, why don't we just have a blank new slate where we can do whatever we want? That's like what the elders wanted to do. They wanted to erase all of history. However, I feel that doing this is horrible because it just reverses all of the lessons that we learned up to that point, right? Like, for example, we have beauty, tradition, culture, identity, love. All of those things disappear in this new era. Like, those are some beautiful things. Sure, there's also death, violence, war, famine, and all of those things. But even so, there are both of those, right? But here, all of those things disappear. Right? Bad things disappear, but good things disappear as well. And while it is a blank slate, this time the elders are making sure that things like love or identity or culture don't happen because sameness is supposed to be good. So I'm getting like kind of like, there's a loss of themes. One, the reason that they erase memory is because they want a blank slate on which to work on. 2, this is bad just because we have to learn from our past mistakes. Sometimes what we're doing in the past is actually better than what we're doing right now. Just look at like climate change, plastic production. Sure, we have more plastics than ever before, but we also have more plastics in our oceans, and even like microplastics in ourselves than ever before, correct? Yeah. So we can learn from the past. And finally, if we just start all like completely new on a completely blank slate, then that means that whoever controls the memory controls the humans, which is why memory is so important. It is that one thing which guides us, right? Just like, I don't know, a mentor or a parent or a guardian guides us, right? Like you can say, my guitar mentor guided me on my guitar path by showing me the techniques and strategies and songs that I really need to master if I want to master the guitar. But we don't have that. If you don't have that mentor, then your like probability of becoming a successful musician suddenly drops by a lot, right? And so, yeah, memory is important, and I feel that that's one of the main themes. And whoever controls the memory controls the person, and so having that background is so important. Just because you lose so many good things, you don't learn from the past, and because you forget, you don't know how good things can be. You don't know how things have worked out. Like, for example, let's look at okay, so this is gonna be pretty boring, but just consider like an economic collapse. Like some like the world, like the 2008 economic collapse. From that, economists can learn lessons about saying, oh, we should not do that or that. Now it's all, the slate is blank again, and so those lessons disappear, those background lessons disappear, and because of that, everybody's led to believe that having choices is bad, even though we know in today's era that it is actually good. It's freedom, right? And so, again, memory is important. But, okay, I've stressed the importance of memory a lot. But let's actually talk about choice itself. So, first of all, there's also the importance of self, right? Sameness is bad. We should be ourselves. Why should we have to, apply to marry? Why should we follow these restrictive rules, and always, do the jobs that the elders request us to do? It's really unfair. And so that's like the self, right? It's the importance of the self, not just like the whole, because if so, the society's all gonna be dull, boring, and there's gonna be no innovation. And innovation is needed. Like, we need different types of people to change the world. Some should focus on science, others on math, others on reading, others on leadership. If we have to have all of these different types of people in order to have the world running, right? Like, some people really like writing, others like history, others like medicine, others like computers. We need computer scientists, we need doctors, we need historians, we need writers, we need all of those types of people. We need farmers, I'm getting carried away, but anyway, what I'm saying is that we need lots of different types of people, and that means there should be no sameness, right? Now you might say, well, true, but like the committee of elders does assign jobs to all types of people. However, while that is true, I still feel like that isn't as visible, because like those jobs are just those jobs, right? Like, if Albert Einstein loves science, and he was like he was in that community, the committee of elders would be like, okay, you should be a science teacher, right? If Albert Einstein just went off on his own, he would develop relativity. He would develop E equals mc squared, right? Otherwise, he would not be able to develop those theories just because he was stuck as a science teacher. And so I feel like it really unlocks our world. However, like all of those, whatever mistakes it does have, I feel it does unlock potential. And while there's still like inequality, it's still hard to like achieve your dreams for many people. And the world is very competitive and hard to live in. At times, I still feel that it is less oppressive than the community, and therefore we can show our colors better. But okay, that's a very good argument, I feel, to why we should have ourselves, right? Just because we need different types of people, and there's gonna be no innovation if we all go to the same jobs, right? Like, there should be an inventor, there should be creative roles that for people, right? Like, some people don't want to be assigned a job. They want to go off on their own path, discover new things, invent, create, and think on their own to create and innovate more things that will benefit the community. And that's just not happening. But here's a very interesting question. Is choice needed? Let's just look at this. Like, consider the world today. You might say that it's free, but let's look at the world. So, climate change is currently threatening to destroy crops. Wildlife, is currently making all of the sea levels rise, making flooding more common, along with hurricanes and natural disasters. We see more increased droughts, famine, starvation, war, the threat of a nuclear bomb dropping on all of us and killing billions and sending the world into a nuclear winter and causing the extinction of humanity is very large. And we've also destroyed and polluted and really ruined our planet as well. So if you look at it like that, it's not. Nobody would say that we're doing an amazing job. Now let's look at the community. Sure, maybe the community is oppressive. I'm not saying that it is not. But what benefits would it have? Nobody could choose. But that would mean that if somebody actually with like a sense of like what is right and wrong came into power, consider what would happen. Climate change would be stopped with like the media by making everybody buy an electric car. And of course, electric cars have their pros and cons, but they would also, stop all gas production. They would stop all plastic production. They would send millions out into the oceans to collect plastics. They would send millions out to try to stop climate change. They would immediately order all wars to be stopped, for food to immediately go to those places, for revolutions and civil wars to stop, for dictatorships to disappear. Of course, it itself is a dictatorship, but it's one ruling force. There's no economic, economic battles. There's no tensions. There is no hate. Instead, there is an order, a mandate that says, you have to do this. And in the end, in 100 years, what if our world is cleaner, safer, better, more well-fed, better educated, with no oppression, except for that one force? No war, no killing, no violence, average age expectancy of 120 years. What if the oceans are clean and beautiful, where everybody has enough money to live happily and for nature to thrive? What if nobody's in danger because of natural climate events that are getting worse? And what if we see a world where technology is used safely and well? If you look at it like that, suddenly all crime disappears. Suddenly, what do you think is better? Currently, we are going towards a point where billions of us will die if we just act like this. It's not only climate change, it's war, it's famine, it's all of these things. It's a lack of natural resources. Because of all of these things, we are currently barreling towards a point where the earth will not be able to sustain humanity. We will not be able to sustain humanity. And after that point, we will start dying out. So it is either be oppressed, but only to a certain amount, and then be happy. Live in a beautiful planet. And I'm not saying oppression, I don't really exactly mean oppression to this level. You can still choose what type of shirt you want to wear. I think that you'll understand. I'm just saying a level of oppression, not oppressive as this, but maybe in some areas as oppressive as this society, if not more oppressive. But in other areas, for example, how many hours of TV you can watch, sure, I don't care. As long as one completes the tasks that they must complete. And if so, we're gonna see a much more beautiful world, a world where things will be much better. So what do you think? What would you prefer if you were the citizen of the world? Would you prefer a world that was controlled but beautiful, clean, and whole, or a world that's not controlled but full of violence, war, crime, and like all of those types of things? And like it or not, we are currently living in that world. We have hundreds of conflicts going on every day. Every day, unfortunately, thousands of people die. It's a really horrible thing, and we're not doing a very good job of stopping that. So The Giver actually offers like a two-faced theme. One way that you can actually interpret it is oppression is bad. Just make sameness go away. And that's true. I mean, like, sameness is what is keeping like tradition, culture, identity, innovation away. But then just look at our world and say what will be better. And then there's another theme that might even say sameness is good. It keeps us safe. It protects us. It makes the world a better place and a safer place. I think that a lot of us would still say that this world is better, but consider well-being over freedom, and consider what you like. While some people might say, I still like the idea of being free. If one is dead, they will not feel that free. And so, if they're suffering, I don't feel that freedom is going to really help that much. So I think that this is a very important theme. It's something that we can all mull over, and I think that it's kind of like something that we can think about as we go through our day-to-day lives. And I feel, The Giver offers some really good themes, like the importance of self, culture, identity, the importance of memory. But it also offers a different world, and it also makes us think about the values that we really value, and then think, is this right? To question the very fundamental aspects of today's world, and then say, how can we make this better? So, I'm not saying that you should immediately try to go outside, overthrow governments, and like start an oppressive society. I'm pretty sure that many of you would still say that today's society is better. However, my point just here is, it offers some interesting ways of thought, and I feel like it is an interesting thing that one can think about. But mostly, if you're writing an essay, if you just want to like write a book report, I feel like it's just importance of self, importance of a non-oppressive society, because there are many, many benefits, and I do not want to see one dictator controlling all of Earth, no matter how great the benefits. But then again, that's up to you. And I don't know. I'm actually swayed by my own speech, so who knows? Okay, that was The Giver is an amazing book by Lois Lowry, and while today I just like explored a lot of its themes, there are still a lot of other themes, and this was just scratching the surface, and just I wanted to show readers what The Giver really is about. And as I have promised so many times, White Fang is coming out. It's just taking so long. But as you wait, we will see Anne of Avonlea coming out. We will also see maybe a broader, like just not like chapter by chapter, but a broad theme video for Anne of Green Gables, just like this one. And then finally, we do have the 2025 Newbery books, so we need to talk about them. And so that's going to be something interesting. I might even make a separate video all about just focusing on those 2025 Newbery books. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I know that it just focused on a few themes, but I feel that it was still really, I hope that it was, it kind of summed up The Giver in a way that was better and like, than just like chapter by chapter, which might might not have captured all of those big things. And so hopefully today's video was good. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time for another amazing book. I am thinking about White Fang, so that might be next. Bye!